This is Miss Carter, and today we're going to talk about factoring trinomials, which comes from the quadratic standard form. The quadratic standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So our first step of factoring is to look for the GCF. So step 1, GCF. Remember, GCF means greatest common factor. So I look at my coefficients, 2, 9, and 5. Do they have anything in common? No, they do not. Then I look at my variables. X squared, x, there's no variable here. So therefore, there is not a GCF. Step 2 is I want to label A, B, and C. Okay? So let's label. A is equal to 2. B is equal to 9, and C is equal to negative 5. After I label A, B, and C, then I'm going to use our X box or X games, which means I'm going to draw an X, and then remember at the top of my X, I'm going to do A times C. So 2 times negative 5. What's 2 times negative 5? Negative 10. And then at the bottom of my X, I'm going to put my B value. My B value is 9. So that means I want two numbers when I multiply, give me negative 10. When I add, give me 9. So we ignore the negative sign right now and list factors of 10. 1 and 10. 2 and 5. And that's it. So let's look. Factors of 1 and 10, 2 and 5, that give me 9. So I look here, since this number is positive and this number is negative, that means I want one of them to be negative. So I look at my B value right here and I see that it is positive 9, but when I multiply, I want negative 10. So that means I want negative 1, because negative 1 plus 10 is 9, or 10 minus 1 is 9. From there, remember, I take these two values and I plug them into my X games. And then remember, the point of doing this is to change the 9x. So I rewrite my function as 2x squared plus 9, or plus 10x minus 1x minus 5. And then from there, I have two options. Step 4 is to either use the grouping method, where I take the 4 terms and find the GCF, or the box method. I will show you both. So first with grouping. Remember, with grouping, I'm going to take my terms and I'm going to put them in parentheses. So I have 2x squared plus 10x and negative 1x minus 5. So I look here for the GCF, and my GCF is 2x. So then from there, I divide, take my GCF and put it out in the front. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. 10x divided by 2 is 5. So then I look here, I have negative 1x and negative 5. So when I look for this one, I have a negative 1 in common. So I'll take out my negative 1. When I divide by negative 1, I get x plus 5. I know that I've done this correctly because when I look, I have both sets of my parentheses as the same term, and that's what I want. When I see that they're the same, that means I take one of them, and then I take what's left over, 2x minus 1. And that is the grouping method. For those of you who like the box method, you take all of those same terms, and remember, you put them into your box. So I have 2x squared, 10x, minus 1x, minus 5. So then remember, I'm going to find the GCF of each row, each column. So I cover up the first one. 2x squared and 10x have 2x in common. I cover up the second one, and I have negative 1 in common. I cover up the first column, and I have x in common. And I cover up the second one, and I have 5 in common. Okay? And again with that, I'll write the same answer, which is on the outside, which is x plus 5 and 2x minus 1. Either method that you prefer, your answer will be x plus 5 and 2x minus 1, or the other way around. Okay, remember you can see it both ways. 2x minus 1, x plus 5.